crazy.
Please send me that link. And if you can, if he's not a member of Can Do Musos, please have him join and sign up. It's totally free to sign up. We give everybody a featured page and whatever information they have. I help fund this thing. I'm just throwing money into it because no money can be wasted. It's going to these people to allow them to live their dream with these challenges. And I came up with the logo that says, our disability does not define us. Our passion does.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. I got to connect you with this guy. He's great. He's a young guy too. And yeah, right down that alley.
Great.
And hearing that message, I did a performance in Australia. Frank Corniola, the great drummer who, many of us have been, I know Joe has been there with me. He puts on the Australian Ultimate Drummer Weekend. And it's a huge festival. Thousands of people show up. It's indoors in this theater. It's totally out of control. And I had Mike Mignona, one of the guys that helped put this together, who again had no use of his legs. And his mother used to tell us, when I put Mike down, wherever I sat him down, I knew wherever I put him down, I'd come back an hour later, he'd still be there. So when Mike was able to use crutches and get around, he started looking and playing drums. He was a lefty, came to me for lessons. He heard me do a clinic with Billy Cobham, and he said to me, I want to play the drums. And I said, fantastic. Let's start with some lessons. Here's my home number. He said, yeah, but I don't have use of my legs. So I said, so? We'll just use your hands. He's a lefty. So I got him a 20-inch floor tom and detuned it down to like a bass drum sound. And he played doom, doom, bat, doom, doom, bat. And he played his hands, playing groove and snare and fill. And if you closed your eyes, you would hear a full drum set being played.
Sure.
So Mike took this on. He ended up going to getting a scholarship to Musicians Institute and getting a special award from Ralph Humphrey for being the drummer that was able to produce this passing of all these tests. I mean, these are stories of acknowledgement that are absolute stories of inspiration. So I then said, he said to me, well, Dom, I'd love to perform with you someday. I said, okay, Mike. I said, I got this idea. So at the Florida Drum Expo, which was put on by Thoroughbred Music years ago, he was living in Tennessee. I had his brother drive him down, not knowing, got him on stage with me. We played in front of 2,500 people. The place went crazy. Several years ago, after we put Can Do Musos together, he said, Dom, I want to play with you again. And I said, be careful what you ask for. So then I contacted Frank Corniola. I said, Frank, you're in Melbourne, Australia. I want to fly Andrew Hewitt, the drummer from Sydney, to the show. I want to play with Andrew, and I'm going to fly in Mike Mignona, two people from Can Do Musos, to play together. There's video footage on the internet of that performance. When the curtain was closed, they had to carry Andrew from his wheelchair up to his drum set and then assist Mike. We played together. The crowd went crazy. After it was done, the audience saw him being picked up off his drums to be put back into the wheelchair so we can come up front and talk to people. And they saw them hand these crutches to Mike Mignona to walk out front. When they were out front, I said, if I ever hear someone give me an excuse of why they can't practice or play because of some ridiculous challenge that they think is difficult, this is your example. We played together, and what I witnessed, they received a standing ovation. Imagine those who cannot stand. How much deeper does this have to get before we realize there is cause out there and we can make change? This is huge. This is huge.
Yeah, it's huge. Great, Dom.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Wonderful. And like
Dom, I got another question for you.
Go ahead.
Because you're talking about your world travels. So, and we could talk to the three female drummers we have. How do we get more females playing this instrument?
Oh, great question. And it's already began. Once Dorothea hit that Drumeo view, 12 million views, that even sparked the Hit Like a Girl contest, which David Levine is pushing. That sparked him to kick it up to a higher gear. We've got Cindy Blackman out there who just played at the Drumeo Festival. that blew everyone away. And Annika Niles from Germany. They brought Annika in. This is out of the mind of Jared and Dave. They brought Annika in from Germany, Cindy in from Las Vegas. They performed together. They got one of the greatest rousing applauses because when they played freaking great. I don't care what man, woman, black, white. I don't care. When you reach someone's soul, it surpasses any of the humanity of what barriers restrict us. So what's happening right now with Terry in Finland? We got Janine now organizing Oh for Drum's Sake. There's a movement happening that is really happening. And I must say, my best students are my female students. They understand movement better. They understand dance. They dance. A lot of guys don't dance. A lot of women dance. They understand movement better. And because of that, what I recommend to all of my male students is I ask them all to go and get a sex change.
Scheduled. We got that scheduled next week.
There's a great graphic that was shared by my wonderful trombone player colleague Jennifer Wharton from Broadway. Guide for music educators. Is this instrument for boys or girls? And it has bubbles. The first bubble says, do you operate the instrument with your genitals? And it says, no, and yes. It says, no, this is not for children. Yes, this is not for children. No, it's for both boys and girls.
There it is.
But Don, that's a question I've always had. I grew up in the 70s. I honestly don't recall hearing female drummers in the 70s. For me, it wasn't until Sheila E. came out in the 80s that I knew of any female drummers. Like, why? Maybe they were there, but of course we didn't have the internet. But why was that?
Karen Carpenter, by the way, right?
She would be the only other one. That I would know.
Yeah.
We have a very slow evolution of humanity. And unfortunately, because of that slow evolution of humanity, there are thought processes that restrict greatness. So for example, the thought process that in America, blacks had to use different bathrooms, or black people had to drink out of different fountains. What a small concept of insanity that was relevant at that time in the early 1900s in America. And then when it came to women, the concept of they were only, should be placed in the kitchen and they were at home, they should not work. That mentality was incredible until in 1920 when women got the right to vote. And when the women's movement by all the, these wonderful leaders have started to step forward, it's happening now. So now I believe is finally the age of women to not only run great businesses. Listen, we've had men presidents in America. And someone asked, well, to have a woman president, that's not good. She might not have the emotions. They'll get us into trouble all the time. And the reporter said, wait a second. We've been in all these wars. Haven't this all been done by males and men that have caused these wars? We are in need of female leadership. Listen, my mother, rest her soul, was a saint to raise 4 children and empower us with. My parents never taught us love. They were too busy showing us. It was incredible. So that was the way we grew up. So my mother was the leader of the family. And I remember my father, a real World War II vet and a real serviceman, fireman. When a big decision came into the household, we'd all be together and he would go, Mary, what do you think?
Yeah.
Go to my mom and ask her. We witnessed my dad, this great leader in the community, and what he asked my mother.
Yeah.
And she always had a solution that made sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I now say to all of the women that are out there, this is your time.
Yeah.
Lead us, we need to be led.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have a thought. I started playing when I was 13, and that was back in 1963. I joined the Drum and Bugle Corps. And when I got there to join, there was another female, and that other female is in that video of the 3 of us playing. The other girl is my sister. The 3 of us were the only ones that were female in that drum and bugle corps. It disbanded in like 1978, but we were the only three. But we were not, to my knowledge, I don't remember anybody talking down about us. Why would we be doing that? Why would we want to play drums? That's a male instrument or whatever. But since then, and all the past 10 years or whatever, there are more and more females. Now I'm a member of Drummer Girls United on Facebook page.
Tammy, yes, Tammy organizes that.
Yes, but she has told us now that she had it at 1,500 women from all ages, but all steps in their abilities. Now it's 6,000 women are members of Drummer Girls United.
Tammy Woods, go check out. I've spoken to Tammy. Tammy was at the Drumeo Festival, David, when we were there. She was there at the Drumeo Festival, and she was out there hustling all the women that were there to get them involved. There are over 6,000 people on the Facebook group. Do the research on Viola Smith.
Oh, yeah. I was
Yeah.
thinking,
104 years young, still drumming.
Oh,
and she was
great.
back at a time playing drums with like these gong bass drums playing. She was a visionary,
yeah.
80 years ago.
She was fantastic.
Yeah.
Right.
She's actually 107. She's every birthday. It's like I feel like she's like my grandma. You know, happy to see that. Such an inspiration, and like you say, Dom, go back and check the history. And in you are this lineage, this direct lineage to founding players, and you're just passing it on, and everyone that's here is part of it. It's like one huge family. And how beautiful is that, right? Like
doesn't get better. Doesn't get better than that.
Like it continues, and you just, it's a testament to 50 years, because 50 years is, middle, right? Like, if you think of the number 100, and you take this wonderful instrument we play and this community that we are, and you're dead smack in the middle. You've been doing it dead smack in the middle. So you got that pre-generation and this after generation. It's huge.
I gotta say, Dom, you're like the glue that keeps everything together. And we've had so many different artists and drummers come and teach on Drumeo, let alone the thousands of students I've talked to. And each one of them has a different, not the same, has a different story of Dom Famularo, whether it's something that you've taught them, something that you've inspired them with, or a tour that you've been on with them. And it's funny, we'll sit around having beers after a lesson, and inevitably your name comes up, and then we go on a little tangent. But it's crazy to see how many people in this community, not just people in the industry, but also students, that you've had an impact on. So it's just unreal, buddy.
Thanks. I think what it comes down to is I first, I have to acknowledge my wonderful wife, Charmaine, because she is the one that has allowed me to travel at this pace. And she's right there at my side, seeing, not only is she seeing me do what I do, but she's pushing me to like even go a little further. If we're shooting a video, when Charmaine was a camera woman that worked for CBS television, and I met her with Lib DeVito in 1992 doing a television show in Salt Lake City, and she was one of the camera women, and that's where we had met. And when she was wearing sunglasses, and when we were going to go out to get a bite to eat afterwards, she kind of approached, and Liberty was there, and Lib said, "Why don't you join us? We're going to get a bite to eat." And she had her sunglasses on, and Liberty took her sunglasses off and licked each lens and then put it back on her face. So this is the insanity of Lib DeVito, who was so hysterical. And when he put them back on her face, she said, "Okay, I'll go to lunch with you guys." And that kind of began the journey of, and then she came later on that evening to the clinic that Liberty and I were doing.
Yeah.
So, if I'm in the studio and she's working the camera and I'm doing some kind of a video for my YouTube channel, I'll do it, and she'll stop in the middle and she'll go, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Fam, where's the energy?" And I'll say, "Well, I thought I was kind of energetic." She said, No. I need Famularo energy, like your father. I need that lifted up to the level of where it is. So she's right there, pushing me over the edge to get things going on. And then, of course, the blessings of my 3 boys that
Yeah.
are now 22, 24, and 26. These kids inspire me greatly at what we do. You know, my oldest son, Dominic, just had his birthday yesterday, and he's doing great things in the television industry. You know, Jonathan, my middle son, is a lighting director for CNBC, working on lighting all the different shows. Maxwell, my youngest son, is NYPD. They're doing what they love doing. And that's the one thing I said to them. I said, guys, I said, listen, when it goes to going to college and deciding what you want to do, I just want you to follow your passion. I don't care if your passion is knitting. We're going to find the best knitting school and find out how you can make a living knitting. I don't care what it is. So when Dominic talked about the TV industry, let's find out what we did. He's now working for Netflix and NBC. Because he was good at what he did with his passion. And I think that's kind of what we're all doing. We all found what was passionate, and we've seeked a level that was probably more than what we thought we could achieve.
Yes. Great, Dom. Great.
Well, Dom, I have a couple of fun birthday facts for you. I did a little research on August 26th. Now, this is going to be no surprise to any of this crew here, but you share your birthday with Mother Teresa.
No way.
It just doesn't get, of course, she was born in 1910, but still.
She's not a bad drummer either.
I've read
a good shuffle beat, man.
I've read 4 or 5 of her books, and this was a soul that when it's interesting because she passed away around the same time that Princess Diana passed away. And the same year, a couple days apart. And it was interesting when she passed away. She just had the robe she was wearing, her slippers, and her Bible. And the question I said to my children at the time, I said, you know, I want to ask you a question. Between the two of them, which one died wealthier? And my 3 boys said Mother Teresa.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's interesting.
Okay, so this isn't going to surprise anybody either in this crew. So your life path number is 7. And what that means is it represents analysis, awareness, understanding. You are the searcher and seeker of the truth.
Wow.
Nice.
That's amazing.
That makes sense.
Very cool.
Is that very cool?
Right on the money.
Very cool.
Right on the money. Okay, and then lastly, for fun, now I'm going to ask you first. If you want to know this, did you want to know who you were in your prior life?
Well,
you don't have to say yes.
I reluctantly say yes. I'd like to know, yes.
All right, here we go. So in your past life, you were born a female. You were born somewhere around the territory of Mexico, approximately in 1725, and this is a win right here. Your profession was dancer, singer, and actor. So you had to be famous. So,
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's really
amazing. So that's some birthday trivia for you.
Boy, that's amazing. You know, when we go back and do some research on our heritage, you know, my grandparents, who all 4 of them were born in Italy, and they made the move to come here. And I was able to find a gentleman that did the research on the Famularo name. And he said the Famularo name goes back to the servants of the Pope in the 14th century.
Wow.
It was servants of the Pope. And at that point, they didn't use last names. So the Pope and people would give people names to what they did. My father's mother's maiden name is Panettiere, and they were bread makers for all their years. Pan being bread, they were bread makers.
I see.
And Famularo is a combination of Italian words that means to speak and to serve. So the Pope gave the name of his assistant because his assistant would go out and give speeches for the Pope. He was his speaker for him, and he was his servant. So they gave him the name Famularo of that point. So when I went back and did the research, I think if all of us did that kind of research, we'd be surprised at where some of our roots are. And that's great, Janine. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I know you promised me in 90 minutes, and we're at 90 minutes. So I know you probably have to go. So does anybody want to take a turn and wish Dom one last happy birthday congratulations wish before we wrap it up?
How about we all sing happy birthday? Let's see how this Zoom works.
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right, let's do it.
On 3. Which one? Is there a drummer in the house that can count as well?
1, 2, 3. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dom.
Happy
Happy birthday to you.
Let's talk to Dom Famularo.
Yay!
All right.
Great.
All right,
so
guys.
much.
Everybody.
I love you,
All right,
Dom.
guys. Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday,
Happy
fam.
birthday, Dom.
Boy,
You
thank
guys
you.
on 10 at 2 o'clock, Dom.
I know.
Th-
Mhm.
Thank you all
Thank
so
you,
much.
John. Thank you, John, for setting this all up.
Dave,
Yeah.
Right.
my pleasure. Good seeing you again, Dave. My
Yeah.
best
Yeah, you too,
regards.
buddy. Yeah.
Thanks for changing all of our lives, Dom.
Thank you so much.
Well,
Thank
Love
you
you,
so
Dom.
much.
You're fantastic.
Thank you for the gift of all of you. Thank you so much.
Aw, that's
Thank you,
sweet.
fam. Happy birthday.
Thanks,
Happy birthday,
bye.
brother.
guys.
Thanks everybody for coming on to Oprah Drum State.
Cheers.
Thank you for inviting me.
Welcome. Thank you.